So as United head to Palace on Sunday, I'm here to ask one thing of United. Please score first. There's not many games where the first goal will be more important than this one. With both teams far more comfortable playing on the counter-attack, given United struggles up against a low block in recent weeks, I think it's safe to say that the first goal in this game could really decide the whole outcome of it. I'm here today to look at the tactical battle that could play out between the two managers, have a look at the injury news for United, and the potential lineup that Amorim could go with. As always, guys, drop a like if you enjoy, subscribe if you're new around here, and let's get into it.
Let's go.
Palace have had a midweek trip to contend with, so that could be something that could play into this game as well. We know how much Klopp used to whinge about having the early kickoff on the Saturday. Palace have the early kickoff on the Sunday after playing just last night now, so that could really play into this game. Amorim spoke about how United not being in Europe could be an advantage for us. We haven't seen that play out just yet, but could it start now on Sunday? The trouble is for United, our away record has been pretty shambolic so far, and Palace's home record is up there with one of the best. So we know it's not going to be an easy game. Tactically, as much as Amorim likes to say the United play a completely different way to Palace, and I kind of understand where he's coming from, but the truth of it is they are really similar systems. But it's just Palace a bit clearer on the identity that they have. The trouble that Amorim has is with United, we're not expected to be underdogs for the majority of the season. But with Palace, there's quite a lot of games where they are expected to be underdogs. So obviously the fan expectations then and the pundits and everything else, the expectations are going to be different for both teams. Especially when you factor in the amount of money the United have spent as well. But both teams in attack do largely rely on playing direct and also playing on the counter-attack whenever they can. Both teams do just simply play a lot better when they have less of the ball, and they win more games that way as well. This is why I've been saying that the first goal is so important in this one. If Palace can get that first goal, we know how good they are at sitting deep and playing on the counter-attack. United, I think if they're facing that Palace low block, I think it could be a very long afternoon for us. We know Palace largely like to sit in that 5-4-1 shape in defence. They're very good at blocking off the central spaces for the opposition as well. And accessing those central spaces has been a problem for United anyway. As you can see from this graphic, United regularly progress the ball in wide areas. But I think this will play into Palace's hands. They'll get United playing out wide, try and get them just to whip crosses into the box, where Palace's free centre-backs will largely probably be comfortable with it. I spoke about United's wing-back issues after that Everton game as well. So United having large portions of the offence running through those wing-backs has not been good so far this season. Obviously going to talk about who Amorim could pick to play at wing-back in this game as well a little bit later on. But obviously Palace now, I think they're hoping that we're going to stick with those full-backs. Palace themselves have a lot of output from their wing-backs as they have players a lot more suited to that direct style. Elsewhere for Palace in attack, we know how good Mateta has become. Wharton is one of the best passers in the Premier League. And having Sarr back for them is huge. With the counter-attacks that they have, having the number 10s making these runs from deep is a huge part of their attack. As I've said, United do have the expectations, and obviously rightly so given the amount of money that we spent. You can't sit for large portions of the game in a 5-4-1 and counter as much as someone like a Palace might do, even if United still do it for large portions of the game under Amorim. But that's on him as a coach to figure out now. How do you take that next step? How do you become a team challenging right to the very top? We still don't have great progression. I've mentioned obviously the central progression, but just any progression from deep. We largely are now relying a lot on winning those second balls higher up the pitch, and now the sesh goes out, we might struggle even more in that regard now. Much like Palace, we don't press high very often, so we are super similar to Palace in many ways. And I mean no disrespect to Palace, but it's obviously not a good thing for United. What Palace is doing has been fantastic now, given the fact also that they are selling their best players year on year. But if United is supposed to be this top team that everyone sort of still talks about us as if we are, and if Amorim expects United obviously to be challenging for the major honours, big and huge changes are still needed. In terms of injury news, we know now that Cunha is still going to be out. Maguire and Seshko also out for another couple of weeks as well. Cunha should be back for the West Ham game, but he's not going to be available for the Palace one. So it does limit Amorim's options slightly. This was the team that we saw up against Everton, obviously last Monday night. Wasn't a successful one. We spoke so much about the wing-backs. Having full-backs playing at wing-back hasn't worked so far. So I do expect Dalot to be coming back into this team, purely just because of how much Dogu struggled up against Everton. But I would like to see Ahmad move back into that wing-back role as well. You could easily see Mount go into that left 10, as we've seen in a couple of games we've done really well in so far this season. But I think Ahmad, he might struggle a little bit defensively, but it's the risk United just have to take if we're going to have anything offensively now. I've picked Yoro to stay in this team purely just because of his physicality. Mazraoui could move into that right centre-back spot, but if you're going to have Shaw and Mazraoui in your back three, I think Palace could feast on that then. I can't see Martinez coming back just yet, but obviously we're going to have to wait on what sort of fitness he has now. But then obviously there's other options for Amorim as well. You could easily, as I've spoken about so many times before, push Fernandes further forward, have Minor in the deeper role in midfield. But so far we know that Amorim doesn't want to do that. He really does seem to like having Fernandes deeper in midfield for some sort of reason. But I just hope that least that Amorim could do is put Ahmad at wing back, because we know that's how we just get the best out of our attack then. The rest of it, I don't expect Amorim to make wholesale changes. He hasn't done yet at United, and I don't think one loss against Everton is going to change that either. Because I do think this game is going to be super tight, and it does feel like another must-win for Amorim, given how bad Monday night was, given obviously the fact that this is meant to be a little bit of an easier run for United. We've got West Ham, Wolves, teams like that to come, and obviously these games you're expecting United to do really well, go on a little bit of a run, and then suddenly by Christmas then you're looking okay, and I think that's what Ineos are hoping for. Whether it's going to happen or not, I'm doubting it, but I just hope United can prove me wrong. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what your starting 11s would be down in the comments down below. As always guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop it a like, subscribe if you're new around here, and I'll catch you after that game.